Hello everyone. Razorblade Mango here. So, with Marvel Spider-Man 2 coming out very soon once this video drops, I wanted to go back and play Spider-Man Miles Morales. Because I already went back last year to replay the first Marvel Spider-Man game and did a 100% completion on that. And that was my first time doing that as far as the 100% completion of not only the main game, but the DLCs. So I figured it was time to give Miles Morales a replay, because I haven't played it in a while, maybe over a year before I started it up last week. And this is just going to be a short little retrospective of the game. And I'm not going to repeat myself too much, since I already did a video about Miles Morales when the game first came out back in 2020. So I'll start by saying that I still really enjoy Miles Morales overall. However, it has been knocked down a few pegs in my mind. And I really just want to lead with the main negative I have about the game, which is, in my opinion, the storytelling and the writing. And that is the thing that I wasn't as hot on this time around. That was the main campaign. I still think the main campaign is good, and it has some great moments, but the things around the campaign are so much stronger, in my opinion, such as the gameplay, the atmosphere, the side missions, hell, even the collectibles, I think, are better than a lot of the main story stuff. There are some collectibles in this game that are surprisingly impactful to Miles' growth as a character and to, how I feel playing the game, which is very rare for some collectibles. So, while I appreciate that the story is short for your average Sony AAA blockbuster, it does feel a little underdeveloped in some areas. For example, I wish there were a few more interactions between Miles and Finn before it's revealed she's the Tinkerer. I wish we had gotten more with Finn's brother, where we could see the three of them hanging out before things kind of went to shit. And this game, while, again, it is shorter, so it doesn't drag as much as some of the other sections that are similar in other PlayStation exclusives like God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. There are some sections of the game where they do feel like they are designed to stop the player in their track to pad out the length. The big thing in this game are those annoying puzzles, which just, look, I am Spider-Man. I do not want to be solving puzzles in a Spider-Man game. That's just the plain and simple. I am a web-swinging, super-duper acrobatic superhero badass. Why am I being asked to do a puzzle to move trains onto a track, or to move a crane to pick up a laser cannon or something? Come on, guys. I appreciate the desire to kind of slow the pacing down at certain points, but PlayStation needs to start getting better at making these slower sections not feel like artificial padding. And similar with quite a few other modern Insomniac games, the writing at times is pretty blunt and dumbed down. Insomniac seems to have a writing team of people who like to have the characters spell out almost exactly what they're thinking and feeling half the time. It's not as bad as the really bland, overwritten children's television dialogue that's in like the new Ratchet and Clank games. It's way more egregious there. But I just would like more subtle storytelling compared to how it's handled most of the time in these Spider-Man games, where if a character has a problem that internally needs to get solved, they sit down and they talk to somebody and they just blurt out exactly what they're thinking and feeling. And then the other character will just blurt out something to them that, like, a colloquial saying that could belong on like a bumper sticker or something. Like we never quit, or you need to be better, that kind of shit. And again, other PlayStation exclusives have this problem. So, positives. Mostly as far as the positives, they're exactly the same as they were in the last video. You know, this game, and I want to highlight in particular the atmosphere of this game. Because even though Miles Morales isn't even 3 years old at the time of recording this, it's a very nostalgic game for me. You guys gotta understand that this game came out at a time where, you know, there was the excitement of the launch of the PS5, and this was the very first PlayStation console that I had bought at launch with my own money ever. Like, ever. I didn't get a PS1 day one when that came out. I did not get a PS2 day one when that came out. I avoided the PS3 for years until they finally got their act together. PS4, I waited, I think, half a year before I got one. PS5 was the first time I ever bought a brand new a PlayStation console with my own money. And I associate in my mind two games with that, you know, the strongest, which are Astro's Playroom and Miles Morales. And another reason that Miles Morales is also very special for me is that the launch of the PS5 was a big deal in my social circle. And, you know, we're also getting to this point where it was the beginning of the end of the whole COVID bullshit. And I've just come to associate this game with a feeling of warmth and comfort. And even the two songs from Jaden Smith that are used in the game, whenever I hear them, they make me feel warm and nostalgic because of their association with this game. And speaking of warm and cozy, I love the Christmas ambiance that this game has. I know I said this in the last video, but I just want to highlight that again, because I really do think it adds a lot to this game. I think swinging around New York during the night, during the sunset, and you can see the Christmas lights and the decorations and all the streets blanketed in snow. I love there are certain cutscenes where there's just a light snowfall in the air. It just adds so much visual ambiance to this whole thing. And I also love the color palette that this game has. Art direction wise, I think it's a lot stronger and more aesthetically pleasing for me personally than OG Spider-Man. Like, OG Spider-Man, the art direction in that game it's good. It's quite good. But I just love the way that Miles Morales looks way more with the Christmas decorations and the snow and the color palette that's like red and orange and purple. And it just looks gorgeous. This even all these years later, like 3 years later, I still look at Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales and I think to myself, wow, how did Insomniac do this? This looks amazing. And it's a cross-gen game too. It's not even designed for the PS5 specifically. And it looks great. It looks like a next-gen game, especially with that buttery smooth 60 frames in there. And another thing too is I was also really impressed by some of the visual flares that I didn't notice the first time around. The big one for me this time was there was a suit that I had during a cutscene where Spider-Man's eyes, they like light up. And you could tell these are real-time cutscenes because the light off of this suit that I had on was reflecting on one of the characters' faces as he was like talking to Spider-Man right in front of him. And that looked great. That like really impressed me when I saw that. And I'm very rarely impressed by like visuals anymore in video games. But I thought that was such a cool, unique little bit of a little visual thing that you could just easily miss if you're not wearing that exact suit in that exact cutscene. And the extra mile that Insomniac went to like animate that and light that properly, just beautiful. Awesome. Love it. I love little small missable details like that. And as far as the gameplay goes, again, same thing as last time. I love the Venom powers. I think stealth is much better in this game, especially with the camouflage suit. And I still adore how web swinging works in this series. And this is one of those games where I just want some quick fun. I can boot up the game for maybe a few minutes and just swing. I don't even need to be doing any activity. I don't need to be fighting people. I don't need to be collecting things. Just give me a few minutes of swinging through this amazingly rendered world with this beautiful Christmas ambiance around it, and I'll have a good time for those few minutes. It'll be like a short little stress reliever. So, yeah, that's really all I've got to say about Miles Morales. I still really enjoy it. I still think it's one of the best games released in this PS5 era, even though it is a cross-gen game. Honestly, there aren't that many exclusive PS5 games, but I still really enjoy Miles Morales. And like I said, I've come to associate it with this feeling of just warmth and nostalgia, and I really appreciate it for that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of Spider-Man and Miles Morales. And as always, I'm Razorblade Mango, and I'll catch y'all next time. See ya!